I'm sad now because I tried to record this on stream and it just didn't work. I just rambled and the video went to 15 plus minutes. So I will try again before I go to work. Tlaloc. I am very happy about this servant, but it comes with the caveat that you are going to have serious problems with her if you do not have at least MP2. Your options free up significantly with MP3, and it's no like you have no problems at MP4. At MP4, this servant is gonna have all the bells and whistles ready to go for you to be quick farming as soon as you get her skills leveled. You're not gonna have to worry about leveling your pens to get what you need. You don't have to wait till Bond 6 to like really start farming with her, because you definitely can start farming with servants at lower rank MP copies. The problem is always damage, and damage, like if you're not killing, your runs are gonna take longer and mess it up. And Scotty quick farming is notorious for not being fun if you lose all your buffs. First thing about this servant, I love Second Ascension so much. I love the drip. She looks so good. Further forms, this one's good. This one is definitely most basic, which is like going back to that outfit, just adding on to it. Base attack, HP. Attack is definitely lower for 4 stars. HP, I think this is close to like average, so a little underwhelming here. We're probably gonna want to grail her to get her attack like to normal values for an SSR, like the 9500. I remember going through all the Archer tier lists, and like a lot of them were closer to 9500. Or bring her to 100 if you really like her, but I don't think you need to unless you're like you really like them. Star weight, star gen, these are at good values. Pretenders have like the second highest star gen stat in the game after assassins, so having a quick pretender is very nice. It means that she gens a lot of stars. The only like looper I can think of that is actually going to be like beating her out in star gen, like that has around that same hits. It's not fair to compare Charlemagne to like any other quick servant because he's gonna gen the most stars no matter what. Trying to think right now. All right, assassins. Kichi, she will be close in star gen to what Kichi can do. Like probably maybe 5-6 stars less than what Kichi does on average. So that is the baseline, which is a helpful baseline because NA has Kichi right now. Just got Kichi. MP charge 0.58%. This makes sense. It is it's very similar to Atalanta and Ilya, who are fairly good comparisons for how well this unit will perform. These hit counts are very nice. 4 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 3 hit on the buster, and 5 hit extra attack. Looking pretty modern. This is the biggest pain point though. First skill is a 30% battery. Gives herself 10% MP gain every turn. I mean, MP gen. No, you get 10% battery every turn. There we go. I actually said it right. 10% battery every turn. And then waterside battlefield. This is standard for quick servants these days. It's why, like, I recommend going for hired copies so you can get this and be real cozy with your looping and go right into black rail farming, or even like 50% like Traces of Christmas, and not have to use like Scotty batteries, like the big batteries. Like use your own and just like have the Scotty batteries for when you need it. And then waterside battlefield, she is a permanent Nemo support, and when we get to her passive, she actively does buff Nemo, so good. Second skill, 20% attack, 20% crit. This is literally Ishtar's skill. They gave Ishtar's charisma to a 4-star. I think Ishtar might have a little more crit that she gives out, but it's essentially the same with more effects. She also gives party evasion, ignore evasion for 3 turns, and when an enemy has a guts, I think this is phrased like poorly. When an enemy has a guts and you're able to remove it with this skill, that enemy is getting the defense down. I don't think they're gonna allow a servant to possibly put up 300% defense down on all 6 enemies in one skill. I think the cooldown for this would have suffered way more if that was a possibility, but again, that's so unlikely. I think that's why they put this at 6 turns, because it's really not likely to happen. Like, that is if they were gonna have this on a 6 turn, they would have made the servant limited. So not everyone can do that. So I think it's safe to say whatever enemy has the guts is getting the defense down. Again, I didn't bring her to fight Tlaloc, and Tlaloc doesn't have that many enemies that I think have guts. I don't know. I haven't finished the Lost Belt yet. So yeah, the skill has good potential. Like 50% defense down, that is nothing to scoff at. That is a lot, but very conditional, so balanced. Third skill, 30% quick, 30% arts, 30% crit damage, and 2k damage cut for the entire party. That lasts, all this lasts for 3 turns on a 6-turn cooldown. 6, 6, 6. She is on Scotty's good cooldown numbers. I think this kit looks great, and you might be thinking, where is her MP gain? Because that is what all quick looping servants need. They need MP gain, otherwise they suffer looping problems. Literally all of them have battery, MP gain, quick buff. Get into that in a second. 12% arts buff. Nice, she has 2 cards. And she's a quick servant, so she's probably critting on them. Divinity for Tickle. 20% crit damage while on waterside battlefield. So 70% crit damage in her own kit before she gets any kind of buffs. For the party, 8% arts performance while she's on the field. This looks like what would be on a Bond CE. This buffs up Nemo. Nemo will do more damage, not just because of this, but because of this too. Awesome. Because both are now permanent, or both are permanent servants. So there is I don't want to say it's a good chance, but it's a higher chance than one of them being limited, like Summer Melt. You're not always going to summon for Summer Melt banners because you're not guaranteed to get Summer Melt ever. You're not guaranteed to get this servant, but at least now you can get her on a spook. NP. While on waterside, MP Gen, 20%. Activates first, 1 turn. It sucks that this can't ramp up, but honestly, when you think about all of the quick servants that are loopers, what AOE actually ramps up? I know art servants do it all the time, but quick servants, if they have ramp up like a card buff or something, it's usually a single target, like a Stolfo, Kama, or Melt. It's usually not the AoEs that are actually ramping up. And if they are ramping up, it's usually MP damage, not quick buff or MP gain, or they were never intended to loop in the first place and then they got buffed to be able to do it. And that's a big if, because I don't feel like going through every single AoE quick servant in the game just to check if they can all loop. And I'm mentioning the stacking MP damage because Jox is the only quick servant off the top of my head I can think that actually does have ramp up like that. There probably are more, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Speaking of the ramp up, she doesn't ramp up her own MP damage. She ramps up the parties for creature, and then she gets that same damage ramp up as her base overcharge. So helps her get overkill, not necessarily going to help her loot. Because if this doesn't help her kill in a fewer hit, it's not going to help her MP gen. MP damage only helps with looping if it helps you kill them faster in less hits. That's why MP damage. That's why Black Rail is amazing on Charlemagne, because he goes from killing in like the 7th hit to like the 2nd or 3rd, so he gets way more hits of overkill. So overall, Kit is awesome, but it actually doesn't stop here. This is her Bond CE. Quick arts MP damage while she's on the field. She's a support for arts loopers. By popping her first skill, for some arts loopers, she actually might help them get 100% refund over bringing like a Paracelsus, Zufu, Asclepius as like the sub TPS, unironically, because like those units don't give damage. Zufu's the only one that gives actual damage. Paracelsus is not really. So if their refund is already good with double Castoria and you are hitting 100%, you can just bring her with this Bond CE and they'll like do more damage, and like it might make the difference. Obviously this is pretty good in esports too. This is definitely good in esports, for just like, because she comes in, pops the battlefield, and then Quick and Arts both get MP damage and a quick buff, or they get their card buff. So potential there for esports stuff. Overall, if you want her to be the farmer, you might need more copies. If you want to go this strat, how she like she easily buffs other servants, more specifically art servants, despite her being quick. Like art servants get 16% arts and 20% MP damage while she's on the field. Just remember that, because those two are literal Bond CEs put together. All right, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. If you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like or a sub. And if you're feeling really generous, give me some feedback on the video in the comment section. I am very much looking to improve in the coming months as the channel continues to grow. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.